Clash, James Clash. I'm Jim Clash, and this is Adventurer, the show with guests who truly push their lives to the limits. No talking heads here, just the real deals. Our guest, Dr. Bob Arnot, travels the world in search of excitement for the new HD TV network, Mojo. He's here today to describe some of his exploits under the pseudonym Dr. Danger. Bob,
Jim,
thanks for coming on.
Great to be here.
Just sitting here talking to you before we started, I can't believe the things you've done. You're an amazing guy. Dr. Danger. Now, there was Dr. Doom, Henry Kaufman, back in the Economist, interest rates. And then there was Danger Man, Secret Agent Man, back in the 60s, Patrick McGowan. But you're Dr. Danger. Tell us, what does Dr. Danger do on his series?
Well, you know, a lot of these are humanitarian missions. I mean, we would go out on real missions like Darfur last year where we're trying to save lives, and actually we're able to. Some of them are political. We were in Somalia in the middle of this, huge insurrection. Have to hire 150 gunmen at the airport instead of a rental car just to get around. Some are just crazed. We were out with the 82nd Airborne this summer in Afghanistan. And
Afghanistan? It's got to be one of the most dangerous places in the world, right?
It is. It turns out when you look at U.S. casualties, that percentage-wise, there are more casualties now in Afghanistan. There are many fewer troops. It's wild and woolly. We were out going from Salerno, one of the big air bases, into Ghazni. Beautiful morning, coming up over the high mountains. Smell the birch trees or whatever they were up there, and suddenly, and we look at these flares go off the side of the aircraft, and there's an SA-6 surface-to-air missile coming up. 5 more minutes, they go off again, surface-to-air missile comes up. Another 5 minutes goes by, and we look down, and there are these tracers coming in. Bum, 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 bum. So the tail gunner goes, and he has a 240 Hotel with a little butterfly trigger. He goes to shoot back at them. So he shoots back, they stop shooting, and he turns to me and goes, "Would you like to take the last few shots?" And I go, "Would I?"
Did you?
I did.
Oh my God.
He said, "You got to turn off the camera, but you can take the last few shots." It was fun. It really was. And there is nothing more fun than getting shot at and shooting back. Or as Winston Churchill said, there's nothing more exhilarating than being shot at without effect.
Now you, for a long time, I know you were a correspondent on CBS, on NBC. Dr. Bob Arnot is your real name. How did you get from that into doing this stuff on the Mojo Network as Dr. Danger?
I think it's because Mojo understands me. Rob Jacobson had just read a book on the most dangerous places in the world, and we had just submitted a proposal. It had been Dr. Sport. I go, that sounds dull. Why don't we make it?
That's wimpy.
I don't know. That's wimpy. Why don't we make it Dr. Danger? I just spent the last 3 years in Iraq and Afghanistan for NBC. I said,
sure.
Why don't we do this? And the great thing is with Mojo is it's like, go out, do what you like to do. And so we go to the craziest, most dangerous places on the planet. They're in depth. You really get a feel for the situation, what the people are like. And I make a point to try to learn the languages. I speak pretty good Arabic. For Afghanistan this summer I was learning Pashto. I speak Somali a little bit, enough to get along. And it's fun, and you really kind of get the charm of the local people. And the pictures are spectacular.
Well, and Mojo's in HD, so when we see the pictures, they're amazing.
Sony said when they looked at that Mojo HD show, Dr. Danger, they said, it's the best picture we have ever seen.
Where are you going next?
Well, actually, I'm going to South Sudan in about 2 weeks. This has the highest maternity rate in the world, maternal mortality rate in the world. It's crazed, all kinds of factional fighting, threat of fight with the North again, so we'll be down there. And then next season, we're actually looking at a green season. We're looking at the most toxic environments all around the world. So we'll go, for instance, to Kenya, where they have the world's biggest dump, kids getting sick and dying, respiratory diseases and whatnot, but also looking at what are the most effective strategies in terms of cleaning up the environment. So there's a kind of a purpose to the madness, but there's no question that I'm a dyed-in-the-wool type T personality who likes to be out there on or over the edge.
What's the most dangerous spot you've been in your own mind? Where were you the most scared?
My biggest problem is I don't get scared.
Great.
I was out over southern Sudan, and we had just taken off because there were government bombers, lacing stuff around us, and all this shrapnel flying through the air. And we hear on the radio, MiG-01, MiG-02, target 168, closing.
So doesn't sound good.
So there's 20 millimeter cannons. And I go to the pilot, I go, what should we do? He goes, well, they can't maneuver at this altitude. We'll go into a 60-degree bank here in the clouds, and they'll go away. And I said to myself, should I be scared? It's like, well, I'm never going to know, so why not enjoy it?
Oh, this is great. I wish we could go on and on. I have to wrap here, but I just want to. I'd like to go with you on one of these things sometime.
You are invited.
Will you officially invite me?
You are officially invited.
Okay.
There'll be a weapons training course first, but you are invited.
Bob, I'm going to take you up on it.
You're on. Thank
Good
you
luck,
so much,
man.
Jim.
Okay. Again, crazy Dr. Bob Arnot. I'm Forbes Adventurer Jim Clash. To read my column, pick up Forbes magazine or click on Forbes.com/adventurer. And thanks for watching the Forbes.com video network. Clash, James Clash.